All right, so what's going on, guys? I'm looking for longs right now here in the NASDAQ. Okay, I am trading my live account. I'm taking a day off from Discord as far as live streaming, but I do want to make a little bit of money here on my personal account. So looking for longs. We do have Trump speaking later today at 12. Markets close early today. I believe it's 1 o'clock. But we're going to see if we can scalp something here during the opening range. We have the opening bell in about 10 minutes. And I am looking for higher prices. Okay, my bias is bullish. So this is kind of really the flow of how the Discord streams go as far as just showing my trades and talking through what I see. We traded into a cluster of new week opening gaps, and this is previous day's high here, which is actually Friday's high. So I'm watching to see, can we make a higher high, get above the new week opening gap, and we have buy side. Okay, resting above these highs here on a 4-hour chart. So that's an interest to me. Will we get that today? That's not required, but that is something that I'll be looking at. So it looks like we may form a fair value gap here. I want that to act as a breakaway gap and stay open. And I'll possibly use like a breaker entry. So for instance, we have this low, this high, this lower low. And we also have this low, this high, this lower low. So I may look to buy that. And take partials as well. So I'm looking at these up close candles right here. These two consecutive up close candles. If we were to drop down and touch that, I'll buy it. Or if we just run away, I don't get that entry, then I'll use this breaker here. This highest up close candle between these two lows. But right now I'm looking at these two lows here and the breaker here. And I want to see if I can get an entry inside of that. So you can see as of right now, we haven't touched it yet. That's fine, being patient. So now we're getting some displacement. It looks like we may form a fair value gap here. If we drop into that, I'll also buy it. But now my focus is this breaker here. And my stop loss will go beneath this fair value gap. All right, so I'm long 10 micros, placing my stop loss about beneath consequent encroachment of this fair value gap. I'm expecting majority of this to stay open. So if we run midpoint of this inefficiency, consequent encroachment about right there. I like where my stop loss at because it's beneath consequent encroachment of this fair value gap, and it's also beneath the breaker. Again, that breaker is your low, high, lower low. Again, executing on live funds, okay, in the Discord streams. I only trade my live funds. The only time I trade paper is if we've already met our weekly objective and I'm done trading my live account, then we'll just trade on paper for the sake of educational purposes and teaching and whatnot. I want to aim for $1,000 and a little bit extra because of commissions and all that fun business. I probably won't take any partials. We do have the opening bell in about 6 minutes, so I'm expecting volatility. I want to see that shoot up and bring some volatility. So now we're working the higher the breaker here. And I like how the fair value gaps are staying open. Fair value gaps are staying open. Very nice. Let's go ahead and label this. Now, I'm not in a rush to move my stop. If we can displace above this upper new week opening gap and get a nice closure above it, then I'll feel comfortable trimming off my risk or moving my stop to break even. But as of right now, I'm really not in a hurry to do that, especially with the 9:30 open ahead of us in just a few minutes. I don't want to get caught in the volatility, get stopped out, and then price still continues to run to my target. So just going to sit back, relax, and let this thing pan out. I'm not going to edit this. I'm not going to fast forward it. this video is going to be as long as this trade takes to pan out. So hopefully you all are enjoying your 3-day weekend. I know a lot of stores and jobs are off today, or at least have early office closure hours. So hopefully everybody's enjoying their MLK 3-day weekend. Here in Houston, we're expecting at least 5 inches of snow tomorrow. So hopefully nothing goes wrong with the live stream. Here in Texas, we're not built for snow. Last time we had snow, the whole city lost power. It was ridiculous. So I'm hoping that won't be an issue. But I am looking forward to the snow. So that'll be really exciting. All right, NASDAQ is giving me good feedback, just working its way higher. And again, at 9:30 open, I am expecting a nice volatility push towards the buy side. Now, if we zoom out to a 5-minute chart, we have a bullish order block. So here's our 5-minute chart. Let's take this off for a second. You have these 2 consecutive down close candles here. Okay, that opening price starts your bullish order block. If we trade into that, or it's just this last down close candle here, I'll be expecting that to be used as support. Okay, or if we don't trade to it at all, that's even better, because that's telling me that we're really bullish and we don't even want to trade down to the order block. So I have my separate monitor plugged in next to me. This is something that I'm looking at, these 2 down close candles. But on the 1-minute chart, I love the feedback that we're getting. Let's go ahead and put that breaker back on. There we go. Beautiful entry. Feedback is giving me what I like. Everything looks good. It's perfectly fine if price wants to come back to the breaker. It's even better if it doesn't, because that's really bullish, especially since we left these fair value gaps open. I like to see the new week opening gap send price higher. So if we just clear some of these off, this is a new week or new day opening gap. I can't really remember, to be honest, but they act as the same. But you want to see the high, upper quadrant, consequent encroachment, lower quadrant, and the low. You want to see those be used as support. And then same thing with this separate one here. You want to see the high, consequent encroachment, which we just traded down into, the lower quadrant, and then the low of this new week or new day opening gap. You want to see that be used as support as well. So at this point in time, I don't want to see price come back to the breaker, because we're on top of 2 new week opening gaps that I want to see be used as support. But it's perfectly fine if price wants to come back down, tap it before rallying higher. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that idea. I'm going to run some fib projections here. I'm going to take this low up to this high. I'm going to get some projections. And let's see. If we can displace above the -0.5 standard deviation, then I'll feel comfortable moving my stop to break even. But until then, like I said, I'm not really in a rush to do that. And like I said, I'm not really going to take partials. I may actually only take 9 off here. What was that? May only take 9 off here. And then I'll just leave 1 micro on as a runner. And just like up here, best case scenario, we have Trump speaking today that he's getting, elected into office, or what is it, the inauguration? I don't even know how to say that word. But we have a lot of Trump stuff going on today. So I'm going to leave a small micro on in case NASDAQ really wants to get wild and spike up there at the open. See if I can catch that. But risk comes off if we displace above -0.5 standard deviation. But I'm going to go ahead and take that off for now. Just keep that in mind. So let's see. That price level was, we'll just call it 730, 21,730. If we can get above that, then the risk will come off. Opening bell coming here in about 5 seconds. This is going to be exciting. See what we get. So now we are officially in that opening range, that first 30 minutes. So something that I'm looking for is that first presented fair value gap. And then we're just measuring order flow with that. So if we form that first fair value gap after 9:30, I'll be expecting that to be used as support. and then I'll be watching its consequent encroachment. Do we stay above the midpoint level? Do we leave the lower half open? All those things. When we get that fair value gap, we'll look at it. And we tagged, by the looks of it, the 730 level. Actually, well, let me see. This candle's high comes in. So one tick short of that 730 negative half standard deviation. But again, I don't want to trail my stop too tight. I'm not in a rush to move it, especially at the open. So just submitting. And like I said, it's perfectly fine if NASDAQ wants to reach back and trade into this breaker. It's better if it doesn't. Voice cracking. It's better if it doesn't trade to the breaker. I'd rather see us use the new week opening gaps here as support to take us higher. And that'll tell me that we're really bullish if we don't even want to return back to the breaker. That's all signs of bullish order flow. Those are all signatures I look for in price. So working the high of that new day. Let me confirm what that is so I don't confuse anybody, because I can't remember if it's a new day or new week opening gap. So right now, this here is a new week opening gap. And this larger gap here is a new day opening gap. So the new week opening gap is from Friday, December 27th, and the new day opening gap is from Tuesday, December 10th, for those who want to go into their own charts and take a look at that. But you can see it being used as support, which is nice. All right, I like the displacement we're getting. If we get a nice closure, then I'll move my stop to break even, or maybe just beneath mean threshold or the breaker. Like I said, I'm really not trying to trail it too tight. This is less than 1% of my live account size, so I'm not really tripping over my stop loss. And I really want to be one and done. I don't want to get stopped out at break even, then have to find another entry, and then I really just want to be in and, get in and get out. So all right, I like the way that's looking. Let's go ahead and trim some of this risk off. Mean threshold of the breaker comes in at 21,695. So let's move our stop to 21,694 and a quarter, allowing price to trade to the upper half of the breaker should it want to do so. And now we're really risking very, very little, and the reward obviously is nice. Let's see where we're trading at as far as our projections. Whoops. There we go. I may take a small partial. Whenever you have a bullish day like this and you have a move down and then you run your FIB projections, that -1 standard deviation is a great bread and butter target. So I may take a small partial there from this low to this high, drawing it forward. And 21,750 is a really nice round number that's very attractive. So out of 10 contracts, 10 micros that I have on, I may take off, let's see, that's almost 50 handles. Let's take off 3 right there. So we're actually going to do this. Apologize for the noise. Let's take off a small partial there, and we should have 6 remaining here. Or do I want to do that? That's only 7 handles away. It's really not even worth it at that point, right? I'm not perfect. Sometimes I play around with my partials. I try to look for the best exit that I can get. But like I said, with all the Trump stuff going on, I'm expecting the volatility to be a little higher. So now, here's my thought process. We have this down close candle. I would want this to act as a bullish order block, meaning I would like for it to be used as support and for price to stay above it. So if we get a nice closure above this down close candle, I'll feel comfortable moving my stop loss to break even because I'll be expecting this candle to be used as support. I wouldn't want us to lose that. So now at this point in time, moving my stop to break even and also covering commission costs because this is a live account and you do have to pay commissions on this stuff. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and extend these 750, the high in this candle. So just traded into that -1 standard deviation, which is nice. And at this point in time, you just submit to the trade. The risk is removed, commissions is covered. There's no reason to play with your stop loss anymore. You've already done the work of reducing the risk. We had a nice sniper, no drawdown entry. So there is no fear of getting stopped out. There is no fear of this trade reversing. This trade can reverse, hit my stop, and I wouldn't feel any type of way about it because the market's algorithmic. I covered commissions. I didn't lose anything on this trade. And if anything, it was a great experience. It was a great, day to get better. We always try to strive to get at least 1 day better, 1% better. So looking for that limit order, it's about 5 handles away. And that's really 90% of my position coming off that 1 micro. That'll just be best case scenario exit if NASDAQ wants to get all the way up there. So again, if you're not in the Discord, highly recommend joining the streams. This is what we do every morning. I do win trades. I do lose trades. I go on winning streaks. I go on losing streaks. But if you kind of want to sit in the live streams and just watch how I internalize price action, the Discord and the live streams will be of great resource to you. Like I said, it's just like what you're seeing here. I'm talking through my trade. I'm talking through my analysis and what I see. There's no emotions attached. There's no FOMO. There's no anything. Okay, it's just, it's real executions, no games, no gimmicks. We're just here to make money and get better. So our first presented fair value gap is this candle here, 935. Now remember what I said earlier about the first presented. I'm watching to see, do we trade to it at all? Do we leave it open? Do we respect the lower half of it? So this is what I'm watching. And let's put that at the bottom actually. Right there. So we have the first presented fair value gap and we have this down close candle. I want to see support here and I want to see that give us speed into the limit order. I don't want to see us lose this down close candle. I want to see that be used as support. Tapping the opening price. We can go ahead and take this off. Now that -1 standard deviation, real quick, let's extend that to the right. You can see the reaction, the bodies. It's always a great partial, but the partial really wasn't worth it given the fact that that partial was only a few handles away from my main partial. So now on a 5-minute chart, we have a discount wick. So let's take this off for a second. This is what I'm looking at on a 5-minute basis. We have this long wick here. Okay, wicks are gaps. So what I like to do is take that entire range, get consequent encroachment, and I want to see us stay in the upper half of that wick, use it as support. It's fine if we trade to the high of this new week opening gap or new day opening gap. Can't remember. That's fine. My stop loss is beneath that, but you want to see something like that right there. That's pretty nice, right? And there's your limit order. Very nice. Let's go ahead and adjust this last micro on. This is only, 10% of my full position. And just walk it through like that. Join the Discord if you're not in there. This is what we do every day. Nothing random, no emotions attached, just straight business. Live account. So this was our 5-minute discount wick, and let's change the color of that. Let's do something like this. And then remember when we were trading down here before 9:30 even got here, I said I'm waiting for us to form that first presented fair value gap, and I would want that first presented fair value gap to be used as support and take us higher. Calling it beforehand. Here's your first presented fair value gap after 9:30, and almost like magic, look at the bodies. The wicks do the damage, that's fine, but do we close past midpoint of that first presented fair value gap? Nope. Order block. Okay, I said we should not lose that order block. I want to see us stay above it. Do we stay above it? Absolutely. Do we take out the order blocks low? Nope. Smashes that limit order. That's perfect. Trailing my stop loss underneath this low here, which comes in at 31 even. 31 even. So locking in about extra $50. And yeah, it was a good morning. So now we have these two down close candles coupled with the fair value gap. So I'm seeing that as one bullish order block. And at this point, I'm really just highlighting every discount PD array that could take us higher. This is actually a propulsion block. It should act as an accelerator for price. So you have your primary order block here, and an order block that trades into an order block is called a propulsion block. Okay, so your propulsion block starts with the opening price here. That is your propulsion block. I like the reaction off of that. And then this down here is your order block. Just like that. All right. This has been really fun. Can't wait to get back in the streams with the gang. Like I said, taking a day off from live streaming and Discord. Kind of enjoying my 3-day weekend, but I did want to come on here and make some change, and thought, why not record for the YouTube community? But this has been a beautiful no drawdown on the entry. Okay, entering at the high of the breaker, and you see the result there. Be in the Discord. If you're watching, I'm looking at the Discord chat right now, and you mentioned how on my trading plan it says that I don't trade bank holidays, and this is for anybody else who has the same question. Yesterday is a bank holiday, but I feel like I'm at a point where I have the skill set to execute in these days. So while I know that bank holidays are likely to be a little bit more difficult, same with the day after a bank holiday, I'm still giving giving myself permission to still execute on these days. But I'm just being careful so I won't push too hard. Like if this trade would have lost, I would be done for the day. I wouldn't really look for a second setup, not on a bank holiday, not on a day after bank holiday. So just to answer your question, B in the Discord, I'm giving myself permission to trade these days, but I'm understanding that it could be a little bit more difficult. And if it was choppy or if I thought the price action wasn't clean, then I just wouldn't engage it. So if you're watching this, there's the answer to your question. So we're trading inside of another order block, fair value gap. Stop loss stays down here. I'm not really worried about it. I won't move it for the duration of the trade. So either I make $50 on this last contract or I make 175. I really don't care. We banked 90% at a nice partial. So, but I do want to see if I can squeeze out 1,000. I'm logging into my broker on my phone to see how much I made, because I do want to make 1,000 today. So let me see. Okay, so I made 1,022 bucks. No, that's wrong. I made 901. So I need $99 to lock in 1,000. I'm gonna go ahead and. Ooh, that's close. We cutting it close, aren't we? Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and close. My goal today was to make at least 1,000, and we locked in. What is that? Or I'll just go ahead and do this. All right. So here is the live account. Obviously hiding my account number. Balance, and here is our trade from today. All right, making about 2% or whatnot. So that was fun. Hopefully you found this one insightful. Please join the Discord if you're not in there. I do this stuff live Monday through Friday every morning. I'm not perfect. I do take losses just like I take wins. So just keep that in mind. I don't want to sell the idea that I have a 100% win rate. I don't. But this is something that we do often. Love y'all, man. Link is in the description to join the community. There's a whole bunch of other resources in there that could really take your trading to the next level. And enjoy the rest of your 3-day weekend. I'll see you all tomorrow. All right? Peace.